It's that time again. Welcome back to the Pocket Dimension with your host, JP Got Rockets, as we paint all the things. Here we go. Alright, now let me pop out the chats, pop out the chats, pop out the chats, pop out the chats. Pop out the chat, pop out the chat. Popping out the chat. Here we go. So. And we'll bring up OBS again. And bring one. There's the Twitch chat up. Here is the YouTube chat up. And here is the Rumble chat up. Alright. So if you are joining again here in the Pocket Dimension, here on Paint All the Things, and you are on Twitch, why don't you poke your little mouse pointer down there at the lower right hand corner and drop a couple of teeth. That's right, drop a couple of teeth. Because this is Orktober. Orktober! I need you! Look! I need you! Yes, you! Right there, watching me get paint on me tonight. I need you to drop a couple of teeth right down there so we can help out the 988 Crisis and Suicide Lifeline. So that's the plan. We're trying to raise $250. This is... So I started this collection in September. And it is now October. But that's okay because September was Suicide Awareness Month. October is Depression Awareness Month. Or Depression... Depression Awareness Month. So, they're very closely linked conditions. Not that all depressed people are going to hurt themselves by any means, but sometimes you can be depressed and be just fine. But you're not just fine if you're depressed. If that makes any sense. I know I've had my own struggles with depression over the years, and I've learned what triggers those, and I've learned how to deal with it. So it's important to know yourself, but if you need help, sometimes there are resources that can be made available to you through some of these organizations, ways they can help you cope. So drop a couple of teeth down here in the bucket. Just a couple of teeth. Drop them right down here. And, yeah. Help us do a good thing. And, a couple of $100 will probably cover, maybe a day's shift for one of their workers. So, it's not a lot. But I don't need to be too ambitious first time out of the gate with a charity drive. So help us reach $250. That's the goal. $250 for the Crisis and Lifeline. Crisis and Suicide Lifeline. Alright, so let's go ahead and keep on. We're going to paint this little guy. So, how many dudes? I've got red shirts here. So 5 guys with Slugga and Choppa, and 2 big shooters with red shirts, and 1 guy with the rocket launcher. I don't know what it is with my glasses. They just like have this weird scratchy, fogged up section right near the bridge of the near the bridge, and it's right where my eyes look right through, and it's these are just awful. I got to get new lenses. I don't know what this was. Something I ran into at work, I think, and it's just like pitted out the finish on these glasses. It's just, I don't know what it was. I don't know where it came from, but it's there, and it is a absolute mess. So I think I'm going to take my glasses off because I can get in close and see pretty decently. So it's one thing about getting older. You get the weird nearsightedness or long-sightedness or whatever you call it. So hopefully everybody out there is having a terrific Tuesday. I had a pretty decent day at work today, believe it or not. It started out a little weird. I had scheduled, or had left my schedule open to do a particular project that was going to take me a little far afield, but office scheduled was trying to find out, and I really didn't want to do it. I mean, I wanted to do it, but I was going to have to rent equipment, and I was going to have to meet that equipment down at the job site, and all that was going to really do was just to get the information from that piece of electrical gear. And so I really wasn't too keen on spending $600 or $800 on a lift rental delivery and I wasn't in a day's worth of work. So when I talked to the office yesterday, they had a way that they wanted to do that, so they decided they'd try to figure out what kind of light fixture it was, if they could get somebody else to take a better picture of it, get some more information, because it would have been $1,200 just to, it would have been like $1,200 or $1,300 just for me to drive down there and been like $1,200 or $1,300 just to drive there to open up the fixture, look at the fixture, get the information from the innards of the fixture, close it back up, and drive home. And that was just not, that wasn't very cost effective. I agreed. I mean, I totally agree with the office for not wanting to do that. But it kind of left my morning open a little bit, so I puttered around town. There was a couple of things I thought I might do But the one thing, the outfit that had scheduled us had a personnel change, so it was kind of like I went there and I asked about a certain thing that we had the parts for, and they were like, well, we already got this done. And okay, that's fine, no problem, because it had kind of slipped through our cracks a little bit to get completed. But so that one was a bit of a bust. But some parts came in for another project that I was working on, so I was able to go and complete that today. So, in fact, those parts that came in a lot sooner than I thought, but I'm glad they came in today. So today was not terribly hectic. I was really kind of concerned that it was going to be a long day. Sometimes days with the least amount of work are the longest days, you know. But it all worked out. So that was good. I enjoy it. I'm happy. There's some days you wonder if you're doing enough. And you're thinking, oh boy, here it comes. You get a phone call from the office, you think, oh boy, here it comes. But today was not that day, fortunately. Alright. So that's all the red-shirted guys done. So, what's the next one? Tan pants. So tan pants, that goes back to that wolf gray. So we'll paint up these guys. So these are the heavy weapons dudes. So I'm doing five slug-a-choppa boys with two big shooters and a rocket guy to back them up, which would be actually really cool little teams for some kind of neat little skirmish game. So I was thinking about something like that today. Things you think about on slow days, right? So I was thinking of some cool rules to come up with so I could just play with these guys, maybe play all the orcs together, you know. Little 5-man, 7-man squads, whatever. 5, 7, be 8 dudes. 5 dudes with slug-a-choppas, 3 dudes with heavy weapons. Don't know how it would work out. Maybe it wouldn't work out, I don't know. Now I've probably got too much paint loaded up on my brush, but it's also it's actually probably about the right consistency that I want it to be at, to be able to cover up that color and flow really well. And if you want to see some really great miniatures, speaking of Flo, you should follow Flo the Painter on Instagram. My friend Floco, she also paints while Wargamer Girl pontificates on YouTube twice a week. So check out Wargamer Girl's bi-weekly show at 8 p.m. on Wednesdays. 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 6:30 Mountain Time, Pacific Time, whatever time it is out there where Wargamer Girl and her husband lives. Nope. I'm hitting the camera with my loop here. You need to be patient and let that dry up and do another coat. If it's not thick, if it's not opaque enough, we can always go back over and rectify that situation. All right, so but you could come up with rules pretty quickly. You can steal rules from other games. Take rules that you like and see if you can incorporate them with other rules that you like. I will tell you that most of the rules that you already play have been recycled from other rules that the designers have already played. And how many of those rules came from other places and other inspirations? So, for instance, Warhammer Fantasy Battle. I believe it was developed from a set of Napoleonic rules. Believe it or not. From what I understand, I could be wrong. So this is Orktober. This is we only have about another week or week and a half to go here on Orktober. What, 29, 20, 31? So 10 more days in this month. So 10 more days in this month. So let's get those donations made, folks, right here on the Twitch stream. I don't have to even be streaming for you to make the donations. Hey, Myar, how's it going? And overpainted no orcs. Yeah, these are orcs. I got the orcs here. Orcs, 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 orcs. So I played a game at a a little convention I went to with Miar. It's called Thren Odyssey. Playing that game, I was saying, because of the figures, these orcs I've been working on here this month. It gives me ideas for writing some rules to play with them. So the way that Thren Odyssey works is that you have a group of 5 dudes. Well, I've got 7 guys or 8 guys. So it could be 5 guys, because I've got 5 guys with Slugachoppas in each of these color schemes. And so I was thinking I could use that. I could use the idea of having a limited team and just say, okay, each team has this, this, and this. Always has this, this, and this. But I was also thinking of dicing mechanics. So, how's Miar doing tonight? So I was thinking about dicing mechanics, like how do you activate your team? Do you activate each guy individually? You know, what happens if you fail an activation? How many dice do you use for activation? You know. Hey, Miar! Miar has donated $25 to the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Terrific. Folks, be like Miar. Even if you only have $1 or $2, it goes a long way. We're trying to get to $250 by the end of the month. So now we have $50. We are a fifth of the way there. So, thank you very much, Miar. Appreciate that, man. But you don't have to be present during my broadcast to actually make that donation. You can hop over to Twitch and make that donation. Even if you're watching this on the VOD from other platforms. So if you're on YouTube or Rumble, just come on over to Twitch, use the search bar, search my name, JP Got Rockets. Same one across all platforms. And put your teeth in the bucket. But yeah. So that's what we're trying to do, is raise some money for the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline this month. Appreciate every penny that goes in, whether it's $1, whether it's $25 like Miar and Black Skull have put in. Our 2 hobby heroes so far. Be like Miar, be like Black Skull. Lend us a hand, matey. No boy's got to fight alone. Waaaaagh! Right? So. Waaaaagh! Done. No painting, only cleaning. Well, cleaning is important. Cleaning is very important. I gotta do some cleaning. But I was just saying how work was a little slow this morning, but I got a bit of a reprieve. I had some parts come in for another project, so I was able to go finish that up today. So I was pretty happy about that, you know. Those came in quicker than I thought. So I was struggling to find work this morning because I had some things. I had my week planned out already, but office had planned it differently, at least the one project, which I wasn't going to complain about the way they wanted to do things. It was really a much more efficient way to do it, but anything that we get out of place here, we can always go back and touch up later. No big deal here. So try to get his shirt all painted up. Anything else? Nope. Looks good. Job's a good'un, as they say. Job's a good'un. Right. Job's a good'un. Alright, and then we'll just go back over that. We'll bring that opacity up. Whoa. And we'll have another boy in his t-shirts here. And there's nothing that says I can't go back over it at a later time and do more work on it if I want. So, I really don't like the light here. It's a little too high contrasty. But a lot of it has to do with the camera and various things here. So, alright. Put those guys in. I got the red shirt boys. I got the blue shirt boys. I got the... Here's the light blue pant boys. So they're going to get an ochre shirt. Let's see. Mayar says, wife and I went to a pumpkin patch and I took many photos of many types of pumpkins of different sizes, shapes, and colors. Of course, I do plan on painting the rest of my little group of orcs in these colors of pumpkins I found. Nice. Sounds like fun. Orange. I'll tell you, my favorite orange is this right here. Procryl Nova Orange. It's slightly desaturated from this orange, which is their basic orange. But this basic orange, even though it's pro-acryl, this one just does not have great coverage. But this has terrific coverage right here. So there's orange there, and then I've got a Reaper pumpkin orange here, I think. Let's see, is this it? Explosion orange. Sunrise orange. I got lots of different oranges. Hearthfire orange. What is this? Volcanic orange. I know they sent out last year around this time I made an order and I thought that they sent a pumpkin orange because of, there's a highlight orange because of it being pumpkin time, you know. Speaking of pumpkin time, I've got Pumpkin in the other room. And he's not coming in here tonight. Because he likes to knock things off. He was so good for a little while, and then he just started being a jerk again, you know. Cats being cats. But I was reading an article, and they said that cats don't know that they're cats. They think that you're a cat. And they think that whatever you are doing is something that they can do because they don't know that they're a cat. So, anyhow, he started knocking stuff off and everything, so I had to give him the boot. Tried to come in earlier this evening when I came in here to the pocket dimension, but I kept him out. All right, so that's green ochre. That's from Vallejo 914 Green Ochre. And yeah, so let's get a little bit on there, and we will paint up his shirt. Nice, Miar. I don't recall a storm coming in, but it sounds like we got a storm going on outside. I don't recall any kind of a forecast. About a storm. That's not good. It was a nice day today. The weather was beautiful. Doesn't mean that something didn't spin up, you know. This is the fall, and the fall and the spring are always timed for heavy weather sometimes, so even if you didn't know about it, you could have something develop pretty quickly. It's a very strange noise. Doesn't sound like thunder that I'm used to. But I'm also in the back part of the house where I'm on the opposite end from the direction of the weather. So it's kind of filtered. The noise from the west is kind of filtered through the rest of the house, you know. So, I'll check my tablet, really. Let me just check my tablet for a minute and see. See if we've got any kind of a warning coming up. Let's see. We'll go to widespread 30s and more wind. First frost on the horizon. Doesn't sound like there's anything so it's probably just gusty. 10 p.m. partly cloudy, west-southwest, 5 miles an hour. Sounds like it's a lot more than 5 miles an hour. Huh. Wind southwest 6. Very strange. Weather live 24/7.
A peace plan for Gaza.
Ad ends in 11 seconds. Oh, for crying out loud. I just want the Doppler radar. Show me the Doppler radar. There we go. Still Doppler. Good grief. This... Oh, come on. That's not the Doppler radar. That's from your... A little bit of precipitation, maybe. It's pretty gusty wind out there. Very strange. Very strange. It sounds like it sounds like Godzilla or something. It's whoosh, whoosh. Weird sound. Thanks, Miara. I will be careful. But yeah, it's a very strange sound out there. Very strange. But the weather didn't show anything. Didn't show anything of real concern. So I'm not going to be too concerned. Very strange sounding wind, though. Oh, I'm not too worried about it, Miar. No, it's just one of the things that's irritating about that website is that it is that particular weather channel, that particular local TV channel always had the best weather coverage, and it's like on regular TV, terrestrial TV. I don't have regular TV anymore, so when I go online to get the local, I'd like to have something that gives me good service, but it doesn't give good service. It doesn't show me the things I want to see when I want to see them. And it doesn't really give me the up-to-date Actually, it's not too bad, really. It's just weird, you know. It's a really weird wind sound out there, just gusty, you know. I've never heard it like that, and it could just be because where I am in the house that it sounds that way. Very whooshy. Whoosh. Not even really a whoosh, more like a rum. Very strange. I don't know if you could hear it on the over the microphone or not. I don't know if it would pick up. It is interesting. But I'm not too worried about it. Welcome to the Midwest, right? You don't like the weather? Wait a minute. I don't think there's anything to worry about right now. Back in August, beginning early September, late August, supposedly we had a tornado warning, but I went outside to look, and because it was outside and then into the crawl space, right? Well, I went to listen for the. I figured here in town we'd have tornado sirens. Well, I never heard one I heard tornado siren, which was like way off in the distance. You could barely hear it. But you'd think downtown would be a little bit more alarm conscious. And I haven't heard that, so I'm not too concerned about it. Not too concerned right now. Like I said, the weather radar didn't show anything. I looked at the wind speeds and everything, and I didn't see anything. I looked at the Doppler. It just showed some like moisture in the air. Not even really precipitation. So they didn't have any alerts out from NOAA either, so I'm not gonna get excited about anything, because there's nothing to get excited about, So the two guys with the brownish sort of shirts, we'll let those dry up. We'll go for another pass on those later on, I think. And let's see. Red pants. Do y'all get a decent amount of tornadoes? It's not unheard of here. Back in, what was it, 68 or 69, they had one that wiped out a good portion of the town right next to us. And there have been, nowadays tornado warnings happen when there's rotation in the clouds. They don't really you don't necessarily have to have one hit on the ground by the time they get a warning out. So the Doppler radar that they've come up with nowadays is pretty terrific stuff. Decent amount, not really. a lot of times it's more east of us that gets it, or north. So but it is now where I used to live, about 60 miles south of here, it was like everything would go either north or south of us there, but we get some of the things coming straight through where I am now. So because this is the this is the north part of where things used to go north or south of us, where I used to live. Like if you went from DD's house, Miar, and drove on Highway 64 due east for about 2.5 hours, you would come to where my hometown is. So we get landspouts and regular tornadoes where you're at. Yeah, Illinois up there in the north part where you're at. They probably get a little bit more than we do, because that's where it's coming down and mixing right out of the Canada, so by the time it gets to where I am, a lot of stuff has petered out by the time it gets here. Like DD could be getting severely a big slobber knocker of a storm, and it blows across towards me where we're at, and by the time it gets to where I'm at, a lot of the juice, a lot of the power has gone out of it. So want to see pictures? Oh, let's see. Oh, I'm in the thick of it. Yeah, you are kind of up in the thick of it, aren't you? True. So this is Orktober, and next month will be November. So November for next month. Which with November, what do you think we're going to be painting? Daffodils. That's right, daffodils. We're going to be painting daffodils. No, we're going to be painting gnolls. Gnolls for November. Orcs for Orktober. And we'll be painting a deck for December. What? No. I don't know what I'm going to be painting for December. I think we're going to do some gnolls. Maybe a warband of gnolls for Song of Blades and Heroes. So. But no, I've got too much shadow, too much contrast. This bright light here is almost too bright. And so I don't get a lot of fill. I need another light up here. I do actually have the Game Envy lights set up, and they fill most, so it's kind of like this when the Game Envy lights are on. And they actually have pretty decent fill, but it's not bright enough for the It's not bright enough for the camera here, the close cam. So, you know, frustrating a bit. Frustrating a bit, Gov, you know. Oh. But no, I think I could probably modify the Thren Odyssey rules for like Orc on Orc Warband, like mini Warband gaming. Or come up with my own. But I definitely was inspired. I was definitely inspired by Thren Odyssey. For sure. And Miar knows what the game I'm talking about. We both got a chance to play it. And I really did enjoy it. I need to download, or I need to print off the rules from their website. I think they're on itch.io. Which that seems like a good place to put stuff. Yeah, Miar says it was really good. Yeah, I thought it was. I enjoyed it. It was easy to follow. I want to say it was intuitive. You know, there wasn't a lot of silly things that broke the flow of the game. And that to me is really important in a game. Is, for instance, 40K as it stands right now has too many things that break the flow of it, which is something I'm trying to work on with my army style game, as opposed to a skirmish game. I've got an army set of army game rules that I'm trying to work on. Miar got to see a little bit of those in action when we were visiting at DD's house. So it wasn't bad. I mean, there's a lot of work I got to do to make them work. I think I've got infantry pretty well dialed in. So, but the problem is I couldn't find. I've written rules in a notebook, like a little, one of those little journaling notebooks. And so I've got them written there, and then I was waiting on a delivery at work, and I had my paycheck, and of course there's an envelope, and I had a pencil, and I started thinking, and so I wrote down. I didn't write the rules on my paycheck. I wrote my rules on the back of the envelope my paycheck was in. And that was actually where I hit upon some of the things to make vehicles work. Problem is, I can't find that envelope. I know that I set it aside, and I'm not sure where my journaling notebook is either. So between those two, I can't find the more complex rules that I had gotten up to in my rules writing for my army size game, you know. So that's a little frustrating. But I'm sure that they'll turn up here somewhere. So, red pants and a purple shirt. Purple and scarlet. And here's his guy. He's going to get his purple shirt. Now see, the paint flows off pretty good. I like that. So I've got that dialed in. I've got my thickness dialed in on this. But sometimes the opacity is lacking. Opacity is just a fancy word for coverage. For this and other hobby knowledge, tune in twice a week to JP Got Rockets on your favorite streaming service, YouTube, Rumble, and, of course, our home, the home of JP Got Rockets, Twitch. Oh, who knows how much longer Twitch is going to be viable. Oh my goodness. Oh, so much drama, so many problems. Oh. Not really problems with the platform so much, just the people that run the platform. Some things happened at TwitchCon this past weekend that were a little bit not right. So... But I chose Twitch. I thought about going to Kick at first when I first started out, but Kick is subsidized by a gambling website, and I really didn't want to have anything to do with that. On the other hand, the other side of there is kind of the more seamy side of Twitch with the hot tub girls, right? I guess you can't find anything that's really particularly non-controversial in this particular day and age, but you can at least find least controversial. And Kick was likely going to allow nudity, whereas Twitch has pretty strong TOS against that. Although some of those ladies tend to push right past that and accidentally expose themselves. Accidentally. But they're making enough money that a couple of days of a ban is not going to hurt them much, you know. Oh, they got banned for 3 days. You mean Friday through Sunday? or whatever their least watched day is? Monday through Wednesday or something? Yeah. Oh, these platforms definitely play favorites sometimes, I think. Is YouTube more egalitarian? I don't know. But I do know that I appreciate anybody that stops in, says hello if you're in the chat. If you're watching on the other platforms, don't be afraid. The chat is open. I can see and interact with anybody that's out there on all 3 platforms currently streaming. So there might actually be armor plate back there. Hard to tell. Some of the metal castings from back in the day, not great on detail sometimes. So you don't know where things stop. I mean, they're great on detail, but there are limitations to metal castings. Even the best metal castings sometimes have places that are a little bit indeterminate as to what exactly they are. So, anyway, that's his purple shirt. And this guy is going to get an ochre shirt. An ochre shirt on an orc. Why doesn't an ogre wear an ochre shirt? Then he'd be an ochre ogre. Actually, ochre is a great color for an ogre. It's a weird yellowy brown color. Alright. So. A little water in the old brusher. That ochre was starting to get a little skin on it, so we'll just reactivate it a little bit. Get a touch more water. Maybe a little more. Alright, there we go. Starting to get a little gummy there, but we can bring it up a notch or two. And even if it's a little thin, we can always go over it again. So it's 10 o'clock right now. 10 o'clock, do you know where your children are? No, I don't. Don't have any kids. These are my kids. I have a cat. I know where he is. But, so it's 10 o'clock. We've been at this an hour. So I'm going to make another announcement. This is our sponsors announcement. W.GG, if you like energy drinks. And I have to tell you that for me, it's an energy drink that one isn't loaded with sugar, sugar-free. One of the finest aspartame. And that was one of the reasons why I chose it, was because it was sugar-free. So you're not getting a whole lot of empty calories when using it, or getting an artificial sugar high out of it, because it's an artificial sweetener. But you don't get an artificial sugar high out of it. And at least for me, I don't feel that that sick crash coming down off of it like I would with other energy drinks. And I've tried some of their competitors. And while there is another competitor that I like of theirs that also doesn't give me the crash down, the post energy drink crash down. W.GG for your energy drink experience. Use my code ROCKETFUEL, ROKKITFUEL, ROCKETFUEL, for discount on your purchase. ROKKITFUEL at W.GG. Check it out. They also have cool merchandise there that you can use to decorate your hobby space. As well as useful mixer shaker tumblers. So go to W.GG and use my discount code, and you can help me, you can help yourself and help the channel with cool, refreshing drinks from W.GG. 2 of my adult children are still in the house. Yes. Yes, they are, Myar. And they need to start playing more Halo. Hopefully you can pick that game back up this weekend. That'd be great. And I know you guys started playing there, what was it, last week? So hopefully you can explore that a little bit more. Sounds like the boy was interested in playing, so maybe you can keep that fire alive. You know, when he starts playing Halo, he'll probably want to try some other games eventually. You could wind up making making your own monster, Myar. I just thought this was something my stepdad was doing. I like this. Now I understand why he likes it so much. Once he starts understanding why he likes it so much, or why you like it so much, it's not a bad understanding. It can lead to more bonding and the like. Find something you both enjoy, you can bond over it. Bond. James Bond. Other announcement the 10 o'clock hour brings. Don't forget to hop on over here to the Twitch side of things and make your donation to the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Myar has stepped up tonight and donated $25. Same as Black Skull also donated $25. So far, we are $50 on our way to the $250 goal that we're trying to raise by the end of the month, folks. So, if you look on your PC or perhaps even on your mobile app, you will see a button and it will be active and it will say donate to charity. And on a PC, it is in the lower right-hand corner. It's down here. Oi, look here, you gits. It's down here in this corner. Right, now I'm going to hold you at a slugger point until you make a donation. No, don't do that. No, put the slugger away. You don't need to do that. But, oh, yeah, no, you don't have to do that, no. So, where is it again? It's right down here in this corner, right here on the Twitch stream, right there. Look here, you get, it's right there. So, click on that, send us 2, 3, 4, 5 teeth, whatever you can afford out of your teeth, because I know me teeth are grotty and small, but you need to put some teeth down there in the bucket, right? Right, so put some teeth in the bucket, help us make our goal. Thank you very much, Orc Guy. Think nothing of it. No, really, think nothing of it. So, we'll have a... When we hit the $250 mark, I will let out a large wah. 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 Alright, let's go ahead and prime... Do I want to prime this up right now? Tomorrow's supposed to be nice. I can probably hit him with some spray paint. So, I don't want to do that right now. Let's see. It is 10 o'clock, a little after 10. Alright, so we're going to go back around to these guys here. Start off with those guys. Here's those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gray pants, tan shirt, leather straps on the armor. So, I'm going to go ahead and take a little bio break real quick. Because why not? stand up, take a break. Been sitting here painting. Watched Dave Taylor and Jake Krajewski's build paint play tonight at 7 o'clock while I got ready for the stream. And so I've been sitting around for a little bit. So I need a little break. So I'm going to stand up, stretch a bit, and probably use the restroom. So I'm going to take a bio break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the Pocket Dimension. Here we go again. Alright. And they always said that Coca-Cola was the pause that refreshes. Alright. Here we go again. Here we are. What do I want to do? Paint these guys here. Well, let's get out some dark brown, a good leather color. Well, let's see. I've always liked oak brown, but I don't know. It seems a little played out. Got a lot of other browns. Beige brown. Beige brown might be a little too bright. German camo black brown. That's a little too dark. I think I will go with a brighter brown. There is a... I've got a... I always like the... there was a bubonic brown that was really cool, and I don't know if I've got... Of course, I think bubonic brown was very much like a ochre, almost. So, this is the Vallejo game color. Equivalent to bubonic brown. It's called filthy brown. So it might be too close to the ochre color to actually translate. Had to talk. Kids, our sewer line is backed up again. Barely draining. Oh my. Oh my. So maybe I'll use beige brown as a base, and then maybe filthy brown as a cover. Yeah, the drain sewer drain line is that's big business there, Mjar. That's that's gonna take some proactive measures to deal with over the next few days. Call Roto-Rooter. You can actually rent a Roto-Rooter machine if you have the confidence. If you're brave enough, you can do it yourself. If you're brave enough, anything can be a Roto-Rooter. Put another little layer on there. That was kind of... I could see a little bit of that black through there. I was here when he cleared it. Now I'm wondering if he did a good job or not. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing is some of these contractors, they don't take pride in their work. Licking a promise, you know. I had a nice interchange with my big boss, the president of my company. I found something. I was on a job and I found something that was not correct. It's like they didn't even put a connector in the box when they built this place. So, little background. There were some retirement. There's a small retirement village in town here. And the company I worked for, previous to the company I work for now, had gotten a bid on the first 2 cottages to be constructed. And when I say cottages, they're like 2,400 square foot, 3-bedroom. I mean, they're really nice. They're little ranches. Well, one of them is a ranch, but they're really nice. They are upscale living for seniors, you know. So anyhow, we got the contract for the first 2, and then that company sold out to the company I work for currently. So me and my coworker went right along with it. So we did another another cottage up in that area. So 3 cottages altogether. And then that builder decided that we were too expensive, even though my coworker and I were actually some of the lower paid guys in the shop because of our classification. Not that we were any less experienced or any less good. It's just it's a union thing, because we came in to the union out of being independent, so we had a slightly different classification. So we were able to, because of our classification, because our base rate is a little bit less than everybody else's, say the full journeyman, we're able to be a little bit more competitive in our price. Well, the builder still thought that we were too expensive. So on the 4th cottage, he used another contractor locally. And the 4th cottage was where I was working the end of last week and the beginning of this week. No, sorry. The end of the week previous and the beginning of last week. Anyhow, I opened up one of the ceiling boxes, and I noticed that they had not used a Romex connector in any of the box. In either of those boxes, there were three rooms, 3 ceiling boxes that I had to work in, and they hadn't put a Romex connector, or a non-metallic cable connector, I should say, in any one of those boxes, those 3 ceiling boxes. And they didn't put a ground pigtail in there or anything. Which I'm like, how in the world did they even get that? How did that even pass inspection? Which I sort of think I know how. It's not what you think. It was just a little bit. It's a little bit of an oversight by the inspector we had in town, I think, at the time. I think he wasn't looking that closely. We got an inspector now that really makes people toe the, for shenanigans like that, he really makes people toe the mark. Anyhow, I took pictures of what I found, and I sent it off to my boss. And my boss texted me back, and he said, it's always nice to know that I've got guys that are interested in doing quality jobs. I never have to worry about it not being done right when you're doing it. So that was nice. I'm gonna use my mixer now, so loud. So, according to Black Skull, that sounds just like his uncle's old Nash Rambler. So, I think I'm going to name my mixer, my Typhoon Hobbies mixer, I think I may name it Nash. So, we're going to go put this back on Nash here. It's still not quite thick enough. Here's another little shaky shake. Alright, let's see how that comes out. I'm going to call it, I wish I was here when what about Fecal Brown? I don't think I have Fecal Brown. I think you would probably know more about that than me at the moment. So this is filth. Oh, this is filthy brown, not fecal brown. Miar, it's filthy brown. I didn't see that at first. So let's try that. Let's see what it looks like. It might be too close. Let's just put it over here next to the ochre, the green ochre here. I'm not seeing a lot of really good delineation. It almost looks like it could blend up real nicely with it. So I'm not seeing a good contrast there. See, it's too close. It's too close. So filthy brown is more an ochre. It's like a brighter orangey ochre. So yeah, I don't think that's going to work. It's just too close. Too close to the ochre, and I don't think... See, I think it's just too close in value. So we'll go with the beige brown, I think. But I do like that filthy brown color. It's a good classic color for use with Skaven, I think. All right, I'm going to put this back. I'm going to go with beige brown from Vallejo, 70.875 beige brown, and we're going to put it back on Nash here. So this past weekend I was supposed to go get some figures from a fella to paint up. And I went out to my car and I turned the key and nothing. Nothing. So I was like, well, I need a jump. So I wrangled my van over into the neighbor's driveway and got angled up to my car, put the jumper cables across. Nothing. Of course, the problem I did have is the van that I have. It's my work van. It's from the company, but it's a Ford Transit van, and they don't have the same kind of man. That might be too light as well. Look at that. Look at that. That might just also be too light. Of course, if I put a brown wash on it, it might look better, but I think that is really just too bright. Too bright of an orange. I don't think it's going to work. It's not very, like it would look fine here against the blue-gray pants. But I don't think that it is going to be contrasty enough to stand out against his shirt. I think we're going to have to go with a darker brown, folks. So nothing. But the problem is with a transit van is you don't have access to the actual battery anymore. You get a positive post in the you get a positive post off on the engine out of the battery, because the actual battery the actual battery is underneath the driver's seat. But you're supposed to get your negative off of the ground post. Well, the problem with that is all the tutorials I could find online talked about jumping to the van, nothing talking about jumping from the van. I would think that it would be the same process, but it didn't work. It didn't work. So I got to get a new battery for my car, I think. I don't know why it would have just died like that. I mean, it did. I drove back home, Miar, Sunday before last. My car sat for, a week, I guess. And because, I use my work van mostly, and if I do any grocery shopping or anything, I just stop in on the way in from work. Boss is okay with that. So, all right, I'm going to try this dirt spatter. It's a little bit darker, and we'll see if that gives us a little bit better contrast against that. The beige brown actually didn't look like it's really too bad, but it doesn't feel bold enough for me. I want a more bold contrast there. It just doesn't stand out. So as it is, I have to reschedule getting those figures from that fella to paint, and but I gotta get a new battery, I guess. We'll try that. I just hope it's nothing like an alternator or just a bad starter. But I got nothing. It wasn't like the battery was just drained and low, because like when I put the key in, there wasn't even any lights or sounds, or I didn't even get a click. I didn't even go click. So so bad alternator, bad starter, something like that. Could be just a loose connection somewhere too, But I didn't really have the time, energy, or really inclination to do much about it. I was kind of not happy. So this dirt spatter is not mixing up well. Should mix up better. I got some of the separated medium out of it right here. I don't know if you can see it here on the camera or not. The camera slid down. Again, well, I need to work on getting a better rig here. So this is just some of the medium. This is acrylic medium that they put in just to kind of help keep it a little more shelf stable. This is the old formula. So I squished that out. And so now we've got a little bit more thicker consistency here, but it's still a little just thin for the application. So let's see if I got a little bit more over here. That looks so much better right there. That's okay. That's okay if I use it all up quickly. I have no problem using it up at all. So we'll try this and see if it gets a better, more contrast to your result here. That's a little darker. It's still in the orange family, but I think it's a little bit better. It's still a little close, but I think it's a lot better than the beige brown. The beige brown could go back through and use that as a highlight color for this, but I don't know that I'm going to be doing much in the way of highlighting. I'm probably just going to give it a wash. I probably will go back and re-highlight the orc flesh. Well, you know me, I can't turn down a good highlight, you know. That's just me. What can I say? I like getting that high level of highlights and contrast. That's just me. So that's what we do. I like the contrast. I like being able to see things on the gaming table, you know. On one hand, yeah, you know, if you want to just get things on the table, you don't have to be super duper special with your paintwork. Because if it looks decent from 3 feet away, it's going to look decent on the table. But at the same time, high contrast on the figure itself will give you a little bit more interesting things to look at when you see your figure on the table. Yeah, so maybe I should use an oak brown. I don't know. I'm just not getting... Brown's a little thicker too. Weird. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. Yeah, so you have like a positive post right next to the battery, or where the battery you would have been, but the battery's actually underneath the seat. And yeah, it's just not conducive to actually, like, I could not really help somebody by jumping their car from my van now, because the van is not set up. Like, it's not, you can't just go from a battery. I just found out that I'm just not going to be able to I can't help anybody now, you know. It's part of the, I mean, if you got a work truck, people always look at you like you're going to be able to help them. You got to jump. Yeah, in the old days, yes, I would give you a jump real easily, but the problem is nowadays the way these cars are made, they're not set up to be a good neighbor, you know. It's like if I put this here and this here, is this going to actually do what I need it to do, or is this going to work, or is not going to work? Is this going to catch the vehicle on fire? You know. But all the tutorials I looked at online never shows how you can. I found only one that talked about jumping from a transit van to another vehicle. And he basically just showed me everything that I already knew and already tried. And then he like, instead of saying this is how you do it and this works, but he did this weird questioning thing, like, will this work? Will this work? I don't know. Will it? Really strange. It was very odd. It was a very odd video, and I did not appreciate. I mean, unfortunately, it didn't last. It wasn't a very long video, so that's okay. Didn't feel like I wasted too much time, but I was not happy that it was not. It didn't answer my question. I felt a little insulted by the tone of the video, actually. Can anyone jump you? I don't know. All right, Miar, have a good evening. Get some good rest. Maybe we'll see you on Thursday. We've only got 15 minutes yet to go, so you're more than welcome to listen while you lay down. So I've got a project tomorrow that is at a neighbor's house about 6 blocks away. Of course, I look at everybody as a neighbor, really, so. But no, I didn't know this neighbor. He called our company to do this work. So I'm getting to meet my neighbors at $68.50 an hour. Excuse me. So, but it's funny when I had back just after we had some flooding. I had a service call on a house literally 1 block down from me. So that was kind of funny. And I had a service call 1 block over, 1 block down here a while back. And it was funny because evidently I'd left some tools, so they recognized my van and drove over and left the tools. It was a fish stick that I'd left, evidently. So they dropped that off. That was kind of funny. Alright, well that's better contrast there. That's better. It's not great. It's not quite the level that I think I'd really want with, say, like maybe oak brown. But it's a good leathery sort of a brown. At least to begin with. So we got 10 minutes to go or so. If you've been watching on the other platforms, Rumble or YouTube, thank you for joining in. Thank you for watching. If you would like to help out and help donate to a good cause, oi, listen up, boys. Look here, you gets. You needs to put some teeth down here in this little purple box, right to the lower right hand side of the screen. Right, so if you're watching on the other places, them other places there, the Twitch, the YouTube, and the Rumble, Rumble, oi, you're gonna want to come over to Twitch, you see, and you're gonna want to put your teeth right down here in this little purple box. Says donate to charity. You hear me, you gits? You're gonna want to do it. Oi, come on, let's do it. Let's make it happen. We've already got 50 teeth in, and we got 250. We're trying to get to 250, so we got 200 more teeth to go, and only 10 days to get there. So listen to my orc friend there, and come on over and donate some teeth, or dollars. Probably dollars be better. Right there in the charity collection for the 988 Suicide and Crisis Prevention Lifeline. Everybody needs somebody to talk to, regardless of anything else. And they have some things, they even have some literature and the like that they could help, that give some good coping mechanisms they can help you with. But check them out. But the goal is for $250. It's not a lot, but I think we could make it. If you're watching, just hop over to Twitch. Twitch gets none of that money. That all goes to the charity of choice. So we started that charity drive last month for Suicide Awareness and Prevention Month. And October is Depression Awareness Month. So, with those two things in mind, and the fact that we haven't reached our goal yet, I left it up. So, we have two things that are related. So maybe you can help somebody out if you help us reach our goal of $250 for the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Oh my, said Miar. Oh my. Big plastic chunk. 7 minutes to go in tonight's broadcast. And it is a broadcast because I'm casting broadly across YouTube and Rumble and Twitch. So, give us a hand and put some teeth in the bucket. Yeah, well, you don't have to tell him quite so harshly, Mr. Orc. You could say please at least, couldn't you? Right. Put some teeth in the bucket, please. So if you hop over to Twitch, it's right there, lower right hand corner. If you're on PC, if you're on mobile, I'm not sure where it would be on mobile. If you can see it in the app or not. I would think that it would be in the app. If you're just looking at it on basic mobile, from the web view, probably not. But if you got the Twitch app, I think you could probably see it. But I can't see this strap right here. Because the shadow is so harsh from this one light that's right here, very close. That is frustrating. So, it's 10:55. 5 minutes to go. And here we are. So, I think I got all the straps. Oh, I got his belt. I got to do his belt there. Didn't do his belt yet. Trying to get away too quick here. Trying to be too fast. So, one thing about painting is you can set the pace. Now, while I'm trying to blaze through these orc boys, get them done, I need to be cognizant of making sure I get everything covered that I want to get covered. Because if I try to move on too fast, I'll miss spots. Now, I'm not trying to do these for competition level painting, but I also want the satisfaction. While I'm not looking to do these in competition level painting, I also want to have the satisfaction of a job well done. So I think that's important. keep on running my visor into the camera. So that's not good. Frustrating. Cool. All right. Well, I think we're going to hang it up. It is 2 minutes till 11. So we'll say our goodbyes for the evening. Thank you for joining another episode of Paint All the Things right here in the Pocket Dimension with your host, JP Got Rockets. That's me. And we'll do some more painting of the Orcs on Thursday evening, 7 to 11 p.m. Because it's Orktober, and you can, if you are watching on the VOD, remember you don't have to be watching me live in order to make a donation on the Twitch page. The donation button is always active. So consider doing that if you want. Even $1 would help. That's great. So we got an ad starting in 36 seconds. Not too worried about it. We're going to raid out here on Twitch. So I'm going to say goodnight to YouTube. Good night to Rumble. Remember, the sun is coming up tomorrow. And the world is a better place with you in it. Keep on painting and keep on playing. Good night, you.